Hello? 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 Oh, if that works. I'm gonna fix my mic. Hello? Does that work? Filters? Does that work? Alright, I'm gonna talk. Testing, testing. Yo, what's up, man? I'm trying to get my mic to work. I switched mics and my noise gate's kind of weird now. That's close. Yeah, do you hear any humming or anything? Really hard to test when you're by yourself. Hello? Is it okay? Okay, so I just need to make sure I talk and don't whisper because it closes out. Alrighty, 5 minutes and I'll start. Gotta start on time so I get the 2 hours of pressure. Actually, I think 2 hours might be a little long. I bet I could do it in an hour on this one. I was working on a stream overlay and I didn't get it finished in time, so just have this plain boring thing now. But next time, my next stream, I'll have a sweet overlay. Y'all want some music, or y'all gonna listen to your own music? I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on if streamers should play music or not when they do this stuff. Or if you have a good YouTube channel that you recommend for streaming or whatever. All right, so I'm gonna be doing a tower defense. You can see I've already kind of done a couple things, but I've honestly never done a tower defense game. Never even tried really. I was just testing a couple things before this. So I'm actually going to be doing graphics and everything. I mean, they aren't going to be good graphics. I'm not really a great artist, really. I'm not even a good artist. So They're probably gonna be pretty bad, but I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna try to do upgradable like towers, and I'm gonna have like a grid-based system for placing towers. If I get the core done within an hour, I'm gonna do an attempt to do a randomly or procedurally generated maps. So every time you load the game, it'll be a different map. So we'll see. I'm not positive if I'm gonna be able to get to that or not, and I didn't get to think about how I'd do that enough, but it'd be pretty cool to have a procedurally generated tower defense game. So yeah, we'll see. No, don't go to work. Skip work, man. I'm kidding. Actually, I started a new job Wednesday. Computer science job. I'm gonna be doing working on healthcare system or healthcare billing, like automated healthcare billing, like a lot of AI stuff. And it's gonna be pretty cool, so I'm excited. In 2 days I get to start that. All right, 2 minutes. I don't have a countdown thing. Sailor just left with this sweet GameMaker Studio 2 view. How many of you actually use GameMaker Studio 2? Or do all of you use GMS 1.4 still? What is this? It says my stream health. Are y'all experiencing minor issues? YouTube warns me that viewers may be experiencing minor issues. Not positive. Is it lagging or anything? Okay. Oh, sweet. That's awesome, man. What do you use to make games? You use GameMaker or you use like Unity or something? That's really cool. I would love to get into game design professionally, and I will eventually. I was in the military for 6 years, and then I kind of focused on school after that, so I went straight into university, and I kind of got picked up for this job, and I'm actually not. It's way over my qualifications. I just did really good on the interviews. So it's going to be really challenging, but I'm excited. I'm going to be working on a lot of stuff I never have really messed with. Stuff I'm interested in, like I said, a lot of AI stuff, automating a lot of stuff, but yeah, most of it I haven't really worked with. Okie doke. Alright, so I think it's time for me to start tower defense. I'm going to try to get it done in an hour and a half. I feel like 2 hours is a little bit long, but this is my first time doing this. I do game jams a lot. I'm actually going to be streaming Ludum Dare, Mark Brown. If you follow him on YouTube, he's hosting a game jam. They already have a couple, like close to 2,000 people have signed up for that one. And that's the same weekend as GM48, so I'm going to be making a game that fits into both of the themes for both of those. So let's start. New project. Haven't done any of this yet, so let's see. Wait, what is it called? Tower defense. Now, what kind of tower defense game should I make? Do you guys like the kind where it's like a blank canvas and you kind of build towers in a grid, or like a laid out map and you kind of have to build around the predetermined path? Because there's 2 ways to do that. I'll have to implement pathfinding, which isn't hard to do with a grid-based system. So I haven't decided exactly which one of those I want to do yet, but I have decided I'm going to use 64 by 64 sprites. So I'm going to go ahead and make some basic enemy things here. That's close enough to, yes, commit changes. So I'm going to go ahead and make like some enemy triangles. This will just represent enemies. I'm going to pixel them later on. I'm actually probably going to do my scaling thing that I've been using for the platformer. And let's see. Let's make a node kind of object for if I don't do the grid-based system. And yeah, I actually like Unity a lot. I started getting into it quite a bit, but I don't like the component system. It kind of, I feel like it hinders me when I'm programming, and I don't know what it is about it, but I just don't really enjoy the component system. I wish it was more object-oriented instead of component-based, and I think I could do a lot better in it. So I really like Godot, the new Godot engine, but that's even how you say it. But I'm really interested in it, but in the state it's in right now, I don't really like it a whole lot. But oh, I don't want to set the origin of that. The state that it's in, yeah, I when they implement C# into that, I will use it, but I don't want to use another scripting language really. Let's see. Oh, Node. Just gonna do a quick. I'll show you guys how to do this. This is kind of cool. Even if I end up going with the grid-based system, I'm gonna see. Oh, enemy. This would be enemy type 1. Let me rename this. S enemy. So I'm going to show you how to do this node-based system and make the enemies kind of follow these nodes in a predetermined path, which is really cool for this kind of stuff. How big do I want the game to be? Let's do, shoot. I want to do a little bit bigger than this, but I want it to be on a grid. That's 64. How do you figure this out? I guess, let's see. Let me pull up my calculator. You get the aspect ratio, I guess. 1000. I should know what this is, but I don't. 1024 by 768. What is that? Oh shoot, I don't know how to do that. Someone tell me what aspect ratio is this. But the node-based system. Sorry, I'm gonna be reading this. I need to actually move my chat kind of. Do they have like a pop-out? Sweet. I've never streamed on YouTube before. I always use Twitch, but I think I really like YouTube. Okay, so should I pull up my chat in my same screen? I won't. I'll just leave it on this screen. Okay, so the node, basically I'll show you this. I gotta focus a bit, huh? Okay, so I'm gonna have my enemy, and I set the origin of the enemy to center. I didn't set the origin of node to center because, like I said, I'm gonna be using a grid, and it's gonna be easier to place the nodes. But yeah, it's gonna be better. I'm just gonna go ahead and center the origin. It'll be easier for when I am coding it. I'll just have to place it not tiled. Okay, so I'm gonna set my room grid to 64, 64 on my instances layer. And now when I paint a node in here, I want to paint them in the order I want the enemy to move in when they're created. So how do you place this not on a grid? Do I actually have to hit not snap? So let's say I want to these enemies to go in like this kind of path like this, and I can make this as smooth as I'd like to make it look really smooth for the enemy. And then I want to place these in, like I said, in the same order that I want the enemy to travel in. So now if I place the enemy in here, shoot, doesn't matter if it's snapped right now. Okay, I place the enemy in there, and we can actually code this up like pretty easily using a, I guess we're going to use a queue. And if you watched my recent video and you don't know what a queue data structure does, you can kind of go look at that. And that's what I'm basing my new maze generator on, is kind of using a queue for breadth first search. But we can use a queue here. Oh no, did I freeze? That was weird. Okay, so I have my create event. I'm gonna upscale this for you guys. I like Unity for design things if I work with a programmer, but programming myself in Unity is a bit hard, hence why I like GameMaker. Everything feels a bit easier. It is. I feel like it's more organized than GameMaker, even though GameMaker is not super organized. I really like the structure that it has. The only thing about GameMaker is I wish that you could use like a real language, not scripting language. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to create a queue. I'm going to call it node list, or I'm going to call it node queue. I use a regular queue for queues, and I'm going to use ds queue create. And what I'm going to do is place these nodes in a queue based on how they were created in the room. And then my enemy is just going to go to each one of those nodes in the queue, one after another. When it reaches one, it's going to dequeue it from the queue and move to the next one, dequeue it. When it reaches the last one, that's when I'll know to like apply damage to my player, right? Okay, so how we do this is just use a for loop for I equals 0, I is less than instance number, and we get the amount of nodes in the room, right? And why is that? Oh, node. And then we use I++. All right, and then this is going to cycle through, or it's not going to cycle through anything, but it's going to repeat whatever's in here for the amount of instances of node that are in our room. So however many I made right now. So what we can use is instance find, and instance find actually it goes by the order that the instances were created in. So we can use instance find like index 0. It's going to return the first one created. Instance find index 1 will return the second one created, and it goes by the creation. So if you go to instance creation order, it goes by the order that they're made in the room. So you could see if I cycle through these one by one, it's actually ordered in the order that I created them in the room. So all I do is say dsq nq, which adds an item to our queue, and we're adding an item to our node queue. And what item are we adding? Well, we're adding an instance, a specific instance ID, which we can use instance find. And what type of object are we searching through? A node object, and what position? I. And this is going to add every instance of node in our room until we don't have any more instances left, one by one in the order they were created. So now we just follow the positions of these nodes one by one, and we dequeue when we get to them. So I've now set our queues done. We have all the instances stored for our enemy. And I'm going to go ahead and do, when the enemy's destroyed, we need to destroy our queue data structure. Okay, so we're going to destroy our queue. We just do ds queue destroy, and then we pass in node queue, and this just clears out our memory because GameMaker doesn't clean this up automatically when the game's closed. So we have to clean it up ourselves when the instance is destroyed. You don't have to do this for most variables, just different data structures. So I'm back in the create event. Let's say initialize. I need to find, I'm just going to use init because every time I try to spell initialize, it takes me way too long. Okay, so I have them all added to the queue. I need to set my first target. So I'm going to have a target, which is going to be my current object. This is going to be dsq dequeue, and I'm going to dequeue a data from our node queue. So this is going to take the oldest element in our queue out. So for example, we added these one by one, starting here and then going to this one to our queue. And this one's sitting on the top of our queue, but at the queue data structure, when you dequeue from it, it gets the oldest element. So it grabs this element out first, then this element, this element. When you use a stack, it grabs the newest element first. So if I used a stack, it would go this way, which you could, I guess, make your level like that too. You just kind of order your nodes backwards and use a stack. Be the same thing. So I dequeued an instance ID from our queue. And then let's go to, let's set our target X. And if you guys can't stay for the stream, don't stress about it. It's going to be on the YouTube channel. You could watch it later if y'all don't like cancel any plans or anything to watch this. All right, so we have target X, and I just set that to our target.x, and target Y equals target.y. And this is why I went ahead and moved the origin of the node to the center, is because if I didn't, I would have to add 32 onto this, and I might easily forget that, and it would mess up things. So now we have our target. I'm debating what way I want, how I want to move the enemy there, but I might just use like MP potential step or something. I think that rotates the image smoothly. I'm not positive, but I hope it does. So I have my target X, target Y. Let's go to the step event now of our enemy. And then I'm going to go to step and move enemy. All right, so if I use MP potential step, we give it an XY, target X, target Y. We give it a speed, let's say my speed, and false. Shoot. I guess this does collision checking too, which is okay. We might need to do a little bit of that later on. Slight collision checking and avoidance, I believe. And let's see, let's set my speed to equal 6. Actually, let's do 4. And I'm actually gonna change my FPS to 60. So 60. All right, so now we're gonna move towards our thing. And we'll see how that works in a moment. Oh, come on. All right, so I have my codes here, my destroy event I can exit out of. So we also need to check if we're at our current position. So what I'm gonna do is say if, let's see, point distance, X, Y to target X, target Y is less than my speed. Less than my speed, less than or equal to my speed, I guess would be more accurate. Then I'm going to change, I'm going to DQ once more. I'm going to say if we need to make sure our queue is not empty, because if it is, it'll throw us a error. So we're going to say if DSQ empty, there is actually a function for this. We're going to say if not DSQ empty. And what queue is it? It's our node queue. Then we are going to change our target. So our target X, well, yeah, we'll just change our target equals target. Oh, wait, sorry, I got lost. DSQ.DQ. And we're going to DQ from our node queue. And then we are going to, that's all we're going to do. That's going to grab our instance, specific instance ID. And then we're gonna reset our target. Actually, I'm gonna just go ahead and reset our target X every step for now. Target X dot equals target dot X, target Y equals target dot Y. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what that does when we run it. I'm gonna say else if our queue is empty. I'm gonna go ahead and destroy the object so we don't get an error. Instance destroy. And that's it. And this should work if I did everything correctly. Okay, you see it's following smoothly the path. It's not actually changing our image angle yet, but you'll see when we get to the end of our path, boom, it destroys itself. And it actually MP potential step, if you're ever, I guess this is pretty good. If you're ever wanting the direction to change smoothly instead of just jerking to the new direction, MP potential step is pretty good because you saw it changed it smoothly. So now when we do, I need to set it after this. Now when we do image angle equals direction, I believe this messes with the direction. This should smoothly change the image angle as well. It shouldn't jerk to the next image angle. Oh, it does. I lied. Shoot. I feel like it was changing direction smoothly, though. I don't feel like it was jerking. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me go ahead and... yeah, let's go ahead and show a debug message. So I want to see if it actually is jerking. Show debug message string direction, I guess. And I wonder if that's changing the direction or if it's some underlying thing. So anyways, we'll see, I guess, here. Okay, so if I stop it and I kind of run through this. I mean, it did change it kind of smoothly. It just changed the direction very fast. No, it just instantly changes the direction, it looks like. So we're just gonna have to deal with that for now. I can smooth it out shortly, no big deal. But you see, now we have our enemy moving along a predetermined path, which is just what we want for this kind of tower defense thing. So the next thing I'm going to do is kind of, I guess, I need to start adding towers, but I really want to get some graphics done maybe. But I really want to smooth the image angle thing out too. The speed's a little bit fast for what I want to do, so I'm going to change it to 3 for the move speed. Test it one more time. And yeah, it's a little bit slower. It's still a bit fast though. I wish it didn't jerk so much. I don't like it. It's okay. Let's see. So we have our debug message. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to exit all of this out because it's confusing me. And I need to make the room a bit bigger. So let's see. I don't want to do 1920 by 1080. What's another size that we could do? I do want to do, I think, that aspect ratio though. 16 by 9. So, where's my calculator? Calculator. Let's do, so we have 16 times 100 will be 1600 by, let's do 1600 by 900. I think that should be fine for me. 1600 by 900. And let's see what the size of our game looks like now on my screen. Because we want it to fit all on one screen, right? So that looks pretty good. Still a bit fast, I think. So yeah, let's go ahead and start adding in towers now. And we'll add the shooting. What kind of towers do we want? Well, we want 64 by 64 is going to be our grid size. Is that big enough, really? So if we zoom in, or do we want larger towers? I think we might want pretty big towers in this case. I'll go ahead and make bigger towers. So no, let's use 64 by 64 towers. I could decrease the enemy size if I need to. So I'm going to go ahead and start pixeling our tower. I'm going to do the base. So I'm going to have a base of the tower, and then I'm going to have the kind of a rotating top. So I'm going to pixel these 4 times size. So it's going to look a bit pixelated. It's not going to be super, you get it, super detailed or whatever, high resolution. It's going to be 16 by 16 essentially. Okay, so let's see a curved, can I get a curved rectangle in this? I feel like I might not be able to. Give me a curved rectangle. Oh well, I'll just do a regular rectangle. It's fine. And then paint it black actually. Well, black background. I'm gonna change the background. What kind of environment? Someone give me an idea. First time programmer. I've been working through your Let's Make a Game series and having a blast. Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I'm trying to add some more onto that, and it's not really a beginner tutorial. I know I go through a lot of beginner stuff. There is some higher level programming concepts in it, but it's good to learn like the way that we're programming in that over the way that most tutorials teach. Which I'm not downing any of the tutorials. There's really, really good tutorials out there. But after being in university, it completely changed the way that I programmed in GameMaker and the way I thought about it. So, and that's what it's supposed, when you go to university for computer science, I mean, that's what's supposed to happen. But yeah, it isn't super beginner friendly. I know. I'm trying to make some more beginner tutorials, but at the same time, I don't want to make just beginner tutorials. Like there's a lot of stuff out there, like the Learn GameMaker 101 stuff, which shows you like basic syntax in GameMaker, which is, I guess is what new people want when they come into GameMaker. But at the same time, I feel like it's you need to learn the underlying concepts of how your programming is working, or you're just never going to, you're always going to have to search for, how do I do this? How do I do this? You're never going to learn to actually do things by yourself. So I'm trying to teach kind of the concepts behind the stuff too, so you can actually start using your brain and coming up with your own implementations of stuff. So, yeah, and that's awesome. I came at it, and I remember in the first video, which I remade the first videos, I said, you don't need to, these aren't really beginner friendly, but at the same time, they kind of were beginner friendly. because I ended up explaining a lot, and I mean I'm fine with that too. So how'd this get? I did something weird here. Yeah, I was like, how is this? All right, but yeah, I feel like it's been pretty good. I'm really trying to get more content on that platformer series up though, because it's, man, I really got to start programming in this, but or programming, I mean, making this tower. I'm really bad at graphics, but yeah, I felt like what was I lost what I was saying, guys. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at this. Maybe I'll get better. This is my first time doing this. I need to add, looks super boring and dull. I don't want this to look this boring. So maybe I'll add more of a 3D-ish here. Maybe more of a gradient. So I'll go up a bit and maybe like this. Okay, and then let's do a slightly lighter. But yeah, I'm gonna keep trying to explain things as much as possible in those series, and I'm trying to introduce the game maker community to more what do you call it? Like computer science concepts. Like the video I released today shows, like, you know, we're starting to use breadth first search, and I'm gonna start implementing some like graph traversals and talking about graphs. And I know that might not make sense to you if you haven't taken computer science, but it's really important stuff that'll help you develop things in your games, especially like artificial intelligence and that kind of stuff. So I have this base. I'm actually going to do one more thing here. I'm going to go back to my black, and I'm going to have like this inner piece. I don't know if you'll ever be able to see this, but I'm going to design, basically I'm going to have a base, I think, what I'm thinking of right now. Do I have 3? And oh yeah, I made this. I'm going to have a base on this, and I'm going to be able to use this base for all the different types of towers. So I'm just going to put a different top on it, you know what I mean? So that should work out pretty well. So I got to read some comments too coming up. All right, so yeah, that looks like it goes in kind of. Let's make it actually all darker in here. And maybe even a little bit darker. I'm just going to fill this entire thing with darkness, maybe. I really have grown to like GameMaker's sprite editor. It's actually quite, the keyboard shortcuts are really good. Yeah, and I feel like I like it quite a bit. So this is our base. I'm going to use S Tower base. Coding habits. You do a good job of giving good coding habits. I'm all about having healthy habits when I learn something new. No, you're not distracting. This is about like communicating with you guys too. So I'm challenging myself. I'm learning. I've never made a tower defense, and I want to communicate with you guys too. So if y'all want to ask me questions, go for it. But it's really important to have good coding habits. Like there's a lot of GameMaker tutorials that, I mean, they're good. They're showing you how to do like small concepts, like make a movement system here, but when you go to build a full game, that's not how you want to start coding your game, because by the time you get halfway through your development, it's not easy to reiterate or easy to go back and read your code, and then you're a mess, and then usually people will just recreate their engines. They just start from scratch again because they'll do things better. So it's good to start with folders and organization and planning your game out ahead of time. I mean, you're always going to have stuff that's unexpected, but the more you can minimize that stuff, the better. Okay, so I have my tower base. I'm going to duplicate that tower base, and I'm going to make my first tower top, I guess. And say tower. Yeah, I'll just say top, I guess. And I'm actually going to keep this image in here to kind of give me a visual. It's going to have to be larger than this, huh? So I'm going to resize the image. Resize all frames, resize canvas. I'm going to do maybe 100 by 100. Maybe that's big enough. It's going to need to be even bigger. Let's see, resize all frames. Let's do, oh man, it has to be divisible by 64, so 138, I guess. 38. Well, it has to be divisible by 4, not necessarily 64. I can add 32 to 64. That gives me 96. So I could use 96, and I think that would be okay. Oh, that was less than I originally had. So I add 4, Get 104, 108. Let's use 108. See what that gives us. Not big enough. Resize 112, 116. 16. Apply. That should be fine. Okay, but now I'm not aligned to this grid anymore. This is the only annoying part about using this. Is I don't think I'm aligned to this grid, so I have to use 2x2 grid size and then be able to align this back to the grid. Okay, and then I can change this to a 4 and move it down. And I don't think I can completely center this now, but it's okay. I can actually start over here and make the turret go this way. That's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna create a new layer, and this is gonna be turrets, the actual turret. And I need to be able to make this kind of 3D. I can't use the circle tool in this case because once again, when I use the circle tool using this, it doesn't snap right. The pixels don't work right. Even if I increase brush size to 4, it doesn't snap pixels to that. It actually makes it worse, I think. So I have to use the square myself and use a brush size of 4 here. So I'm gonna go ahead and make I'm just gonna make a square size of this. I'm gonna use black though. I could just right click, right? Okay. And I'm actually going to make this semi-transparent. Edit layer properties. Turn my opacity way down on the turret. Come on. Turn my opacity down on the turret so I can kind of see the outline a little bit, but I could still work with this. So I'm gonna make it really rounded. I'm gonna, oh come on. Did this change the, oh, I was painting on the wrong layer. Here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this rounded as much as possible. Okay. All right. So if you're in here, what ideas, give me ideas since you're here. If I did this again, what kind of game would you want to see? Just leave a message. Y'all aren't very talkative. That's fine and everything. I don't care. But yeah, what kind of game would you like to see when I do this stuff? I kind of did a tower defense because I don't think there's really much on tower defense in Game Maker. I could be wrong, but I haven't really seen much, and it's a pretty popular genre. So here's my little turret. I'm gonna do outlined in black, and I'm spending quite a bit of time on pixeling, but that's okay. Do like a, actually I want to do like a, I can't, I don't have enough size on the turret to do like a barrel type thing. I mean, I could make it black like this, I guess. Yeah, something like that. That looks kind of cool. And now give it like, oh, gray is so boring, but that's what I started out with. I'm sorry, my graphics probably are going to be awful. Let's see, D. And we're going to have to do some kind of, we're going to have to do a gradient since it's going to be spinning. Yeah, it's going to be spinning, so we're going to have to do a gradient starting on the outside. It's going to be a pain, but not a big pain. So I'm going to do like a dark, I'm going to make more contrast. Maybe this will give us better, oh, come on. I can't go diagonal with these straight lines. Okay. I don't like that. All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna do a gradient all the way up, and it's gonna be pretty rounded looking. Gonna decrease this. Maybe I should have added some blue. It's not gonna be, my colors aren't gonna be interesting. I'm pretty bad with colors, but yeah, you should really work with colors. Maybe adding blue into your shadows is usually pretty. Why is that giving me that? Gotta go 2 steps. Okay, so let's do this. So I'm just using a gradient all the way up, and I can add more character to this later. Maybe give it like some eyes looking, some things that look like eyes maybe. That, and then give it like the rounded shape, and then yeah, I'll try to give it, it's not very round out here. How do I make this more round? Did I do it? Yeah, I did it. Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna do that for each of these. RPG. well, I need to be able to do it in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. What kind of thing? I mean, if there's an RPG type thing I could do in an hour, somewhere around that time frame, then I would. I do want to do an RPG kind of series. There's a lot of RPG series though. All right. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I can't really do this. Yeah, let's add like I'm gonna add like a thing up here that kind of might give it some more interestingness. Okay, that'll work. That works for now. Okay, so that's the top of our first turret. And I need to set our origin somewhere in here and set the, oh, if I set the origin of the base, I won't set the origin of the base. I'll leave it top left to stay on our grid, okay? And it's 64 by 64, correct? Okay. So I have our base. I have our first tower top. And now I need to add my base object. I'm going to say O tower base and give it a sprite. I'm going to say, I'm sorry if y'all hear, I don't know. There's a lot of people here. I don't know what they're doing. O tower turret 1. I'm going to name it 1 because I'm going to have multiple turrets that we can build. And I'm going to have money and all that stuff, currency and whatnot too. So I'm 30 minutes in. Wow. We'll see how far I get on this. Okay, so I have my tower base. Now I want to have a kind of somewhere to place a tower, something that's going to denote where I can place a tower. So that's not going to be a tower base. That's going to be called a, I'm just going to have like a platform. I'm just going to make a little platform, increase my brush size. It's going to take me like 3 seconds. This is going to, just be like denote like where we can actually build our base at. So I kind of just have like a square, and there's this little thing you can do if you have large images and you're trying to get some characteristics in them, like dirtiness. You can kind of just do this thing around like the outside, and it kind of gives you that look of it being a little bit dirty. Maybe even like add some brown, desaturate it quite a bit, add a little bit of brown in there, and then maybe have like something like that. And yeah, you could just make it look kind of dirty like that. So that's an easy way. Like if you have larger images and you don't want to pixel them, you can kind of add that effect. So this is going to be our tower template. This is going to be where we can place our towers. I'm going to make the background soon. I'm going to try not to spend too much time on it, but at the same time also not make it look too bad. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is hide my nodes. I'm going to set it to not visible. And I feel like this isn't going to be large enough. I'm going to go ahead and add a tower base. This might be largeable. Did I say largeable? Large enough is what I meant, if that's what I said. So you could see I could build towers. This will be pretty decent. This is a good size. So I'm going to delete all of my nodes that I have placed right now. So I deleted all my nodes. I'm actually going to create a new instance layer for the nodes. And this is going to be so I could access the nodes easily, delete them easily. So nodes, and also I don't want the nodes placed on the 64 by 64 grid. I want to be able to place them kind of wherever I want. So I'm actually going to set the 1 by 1 grid, and as you can see, now they won't snap to any specific grid size. But when I go back to the other instances, it's 64 by 64, right? So that's what we want. Okay, so I need to start designing the layout of the level. I don't know what a good tower defense level layout is. I guess like a big U is kind of it. I don't know what makes a tower defense game difficult. I know it's like where you place your towers. What's my size of my room? 1600 by 900. I'm just going to go ahead and test this stuff. So I'm going to have templates, O tower template. This is where I can build towers. I might have some towers that are larger. My next one might be like 4 times the size of a normal tower, and it would take up 4 of these template spots. So I'll show you what I mean, what I'm using these template spots for. So these template spots, like I'm gonna be placing like this, and when I go to build a tower, they have to be placed on one of these templates. They're basically going to snap to one of these templates, okay? So, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and organize these in folders, even though I don't have much time. I'm going to say tower stuff, and I'm going to drag my tower stuff into that folder. Okay. So, I have my tower base that's going to sit on these templates. I don't like the look of this, so what I'm actually going to do is say, wow. How would I do this? Well, I'll just use, I want the image to flip randomly by 90 degrees. How would I be 90 times 4? I could just do choose, say rot equals choose. And I want to choose 0, 1, 2, or 3. Okay. And I'm going to multiply its image angle equals 90 times rot. And what that's going to do is randomly, oh, my enemy might give me an error because I don't have any nodes in the room. Okay, so I have to place some nodes in the room. I'm just going to place one for now. Or I'll give it 2. Some of you might not have seen kind of how this works. So I have these nodes. I can kind of place them wherever, like this. And you can kind of actually see the character move across the screen in that order. So yeah, see, now they kind of flipped, and yeah, you can see the enemy kind of moving. Okay, so I have my templates. They kind of have a weird look to them. They flip randomly. Yeah, some of them flip 90 degrees. So yeah, again, what I did to do that, it's really simple. There's 360 degrees in a circle. So you choose 0, 1, 2, or 3. That's basically, it's going to be facing right, left, up, or down. And you multiply that number by 90. And let's say 90 divided or times 0 is just 0, which would be no image angle. 90 times 1 is up. 90 times 2 is 180, so it looks the other direction. 90 times 3 is 270, which is down. Super simple way to flip it, one of those ways. Okay, so have our tower template. And actually, does that image rot? Nothing was messed up, right? I feel like it should rotate around the origin, which might give me errors, but it looks correct. Is that how I have it laid out? Sorry, I got to drag this off to my other monitor real quick. Yeah, that messed it up actually, because you could see it rotated around the origin, which is actually, that's really crappy. I won't do that. Screw it. I'm going to delete that code. That's just going to mess up what I want to do. There's ways to fix it. I'm not saying I can't fix it, but for now, I'm just leaving it out. Okay, so we have our templates. Now we got to implement our controller for our towers. So I'm going to say, game. I'm just going to say controller because it's going to control all kinds of stuff. So no reason to specify what it's controlling. And I need to implement currency. I need to implement, let's see. I need to implement the grid system. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started because this is how I do it without sitting here and thinking about it forever. Initialize stuff because I have no idea what I'm initializing yet. Initialize. Yeah, I'm going to say init stuff. Okay, so what do I need to initialize? Well, let's initialize our grid size to be 64. I like making everything modular in case I need to change something later on. So we know our grid size 64. That's going to be, actually, I'm going to make it even easier. I'm going to say S tower templates divided by, or S tower template dot, actually, you don't do that. You say you say sprite get size, get width. Yep. So I could just say sprite get width and get the width of our template sprite. So if I end up changing that, which is what our grid's based on, then it'll change everything else that we're going to be programming as well. So that's our grid size. I need to, what am I working on right now? What do I want to work on? I want to be able to place an object. So I actually need to make an icon for clicking for our first type of tower. And what I'm going to do is just duplicate that tower top. I am going to increase the size of this. Say image, resize all frames. I'm just going to double its size. Can I do a percentage? Scale in percent. Let's say 150. And I should... GameMaker scaling is really bad, by the way. You see I already have like this artifact underneath. Oh, that's because I didn't dang delete this. But yeah, GameMaker scaling is pretty not good. A lot of times it doesn't scale correctly, so gotta be careful with it. I'm gonna add a new layer. It's gonna be our background. Oh crap. This is gonna be our, again, our icon background layer. This is gonna be like type 1. So I'm actually gonna move our turret up. I'm gonna select our grid size, move our turret up, and go back to our background layer, which I need to put under our turret. And let's fill it with like, I don't know, a black. I don't have any sweet tricks for making icons. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm going to, I guess, outline it in like a white, or I guess I'll do a black. I'll just outline it in a black. Give it rectangle. Give my brush size to 4. Oh, why? Okay, so it didn't size this right, and that's really sad. So I'm just going to increase the size by 2 pixels on the width and height. Resize canvas by 176 and 76. And that's going to be in pixels. And whatever. That's awful. Okay, so this is going to be called, we're going to use GameMaker's really bad text thing right here. Call it tower 1. Let's increase, let's say, what kind of tower is this? It's going to shoot pellets. It's going to be a basic tower, okay? And I'm going to increase the font size to like 20, double that size, and maybe do like bold. And can I move this over? Please, come on. Basic tower. Awesome. Sweet. That all fit in there perfectly. And it shows an image of the basic tower. And another thing we can do is duplicate this layer, duplicate layer, and make it, let's see, edit layer properties, blend mode. Oh, blend. Yeah, something crashed. I don't know what happened. Okay, I think we're back. Okay, yeah, we're back. Yeah, I don't know what happened, just said I disconnected. Okay, so I'm not going to do the same thing. You could do a drop shadow for basic tower the same way, but I didn't put the text on the correct layer, which I should have. It's all right. We'll fix that. So now I have my little thing, and I'm just going to go ahead and make a second one. And so like I'm going to do like a hover over type thing, and I'm just going to color it like green on the outside, okay? And dang, this is so bad. That's okay. I should have did different layers on this stuff, but I made a second layer to kind of recolor the black. So I'm going to go ahead and make a folder called icons. I'll have a few different icons, and I'm going to put a cost on it. It's okay. And make objects. Do I want objects for the icons? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use objects for the icons. You don't have to use this. Usually you just use a draw function and check for a collision rectangle, but I think this will be easier. I'm going to do O icon tower 1. Just say tower 1. So we are icon for tower 1, and let's go get our folder, and let's just do step. Is there a step event for mouse enter and mouse exit? If mouse device mouse. Maybe I'll just use the event. I don't like using that. Maybe I'll just have a cursor object. Say, oh, I don't need a sprite for it. Just say an object that will stick on the cursor. Oh, cursor, and this in the step event, we'll just do x equals mouse x equals mouse x, y equals mouse y, and this will stick to my mouse. I need to make sure it's put in the game. So in my controller, I'm going to say at the create event, I'm going to say instance create mouse X, mouse Y. We're going to create an O cursor. And basically now I can check a collision between the cursor and the icon. So it's really simple. Shoot, controller, have my cursor here, have my node for my enemy. Okay, if y'all are just joining, I'll show you guys what I got because I got a couple more viewers now. So I haven't done like any like design on levels or anything. Unknown function. Oh, shoot. Old game maker function. Instance create layer. I'll just use the instances layer. Instances, and we're creating an object. Awesome. So I just have this basic thing where, oh, come on. Did I leave out a end of, oh, what was I doing here? Basically just a basic system for an enemy movement, and I'm implementing like building the actual thing. So this is actually done using nodes. It's pretty easy to implement, and if you guys missed it, you can watch the VOD later on. But basically I just throw nodes in here and it'll follow the nodes one by one, and you can see how to do this. And it's really useful for a ton of things, especially implementing like some basic pathfinding in your game without trying to use paths. This is really pretty good and pretty simple, and watch the VOD later on to kind of get that. Okay, so I'm creating my cursor, and now my cursor's in the game. It follows my mouse, and now I can do my collision with the tower top. So I could say if place meeting X, Y, and I will check for our cursor, O cursor. Then we can activate. Basically, this will be, we'll set active to true. True, and any other case we'll set active to false. Okay, and basically I don't need these. I'll keep it. And actually I don't want to have to do another if-else statement, so I'm just going to do active is true and image index equals 0, and in this case image index equals 1. And I'll set our image speed to 0 at the beginning. Image speed equals 0, and image index equals 0. I don't know why my internet's being garbage. I apologize. I'm an hour in, guys. I have 1 hour to finish this, so I'm going to be really speeding through this. So once again, if you missed it, I'm making a separate layer for the GUI. And how about a simple card game that showcased interacting with objects on the screen and some light logic AI. So people are really interested in AI stuff. I'm going to be doing a lot of AI stuff, and that's an interesting thing. I'll have to come up with a type of game to show you. I'd have to come up with a card game, and probably have to have some graphics done beforehand to make that possible. If any of you are graphic designers and you ever want to like team up and you want to make some graphics for a card game or something, I'll gladly make a game out of whatever you come up with, and I would do it on stream. Streaming. Yeah. And so sorry. Yeah, I made a separate layer for the GUI, and this is so I could set a separate size for the GUI. So our GUI icons are how large? This will be like our GUI grid, 176. So I can actually go in my room and set the snapping for this to 176. And this will make it super easy. Not super easy actually, if I don't want these to run into each other, but do I have my origin set to something weird. So I'm going to use my origin in the top left of the icon, and you can see I can actually kind of drag this GUI around to where I want now. And maybe I'll want to decrease this by like 50% to kind of be able to add what's 176 divided by 50, be 80, 88. So I can decrease this to 88 and 88 to kind of give me a little bit more flexibility on where these are placed. So I have a node down here. Give me the node. Wait, did I create these? Where's my nodes? Okay, so I'm going to delete my nodes, and those are going to be placed in my node layer. So I'll have nodes like here. I can have however many of these I want, and then go back to my GUI layer and place my basic tower thing. So now when we run the game, we should see it not working. I think I maybe need to have a collision mask for the cursor. So I'll do S cursor, and let's resize it to like 32 by 32. That should be fine. 32 by 32. Apply. Ooh, actually, we're gonna have to do smaller. I'll do like 2 by 2 because 32 by 32 it can actually collide with the it can actually collide with 2 of these at once, which we don't want. 2 by 2 it actually can too, but not as long as we have a space of 2 pixels between the icons. And hopefully this will work now. It's still not working. Let's see. O cursor. I didn't ever put my controller in the room, that's why. So it's going to be in our instances layer, O controller, and now this should work. There we go. I think I have it kind of backwards on. Shouldn't be backwards. Maybe 0 and 1. Why is it? That's weird. Icon tower step if place meeting active equals true, image index equal. Yeah, I had it backwards. So I need to set active to false to begin with. Active equals false. I don't know why it didn't even throw an error at me. Okay, so now let's hit play. And we should see, yep, see now we get the highlighting. It's a little detail, I guess, but something I need. So now when I click on this, I want it to kind of set our basic tower to the type of tower we want to place, okay? And we kind of want to show the image, and yeah, this isn't how the game's going to be set up. Don't worry, I just had to throw some nodes in there to actually create this. So now when I click the tower, I want to be able to place it. But I only want to be able to place it on these tiles. So I'm going to have to use a global variable. I'm going to have to use the controller for this. So let's say, yeah, I'll come back to this. Let's go back to my controller. I'll have to say object to place, maybe. Object, or tower to build equals, I'll set it to null for now, or -1 for now. Okay, and this is our create event for this. And let's go to our, what do I want to do? So I click the tower, and then that sets the object to build to something, right? So let's say I left click, key pressed, or mouse button, left pressed, say O controller dot tower to build equals say, let's give it a type. Say let's use an enumeration. I'm going to use an enumeration called tower dot basic. Okay, and I'm going to set an enumeration up in my controller create events. And if you don't know about enumerations, go watch my videos or go watch videos about enumerations. So enumerations are basically like integers, but they kind of give you a more a better feel. You can actually see it's kind of like using a string to be able to tell what you're doing. So I'm going to use enum tower, and I'm going to give it basic as our first tower. Okay, so this is going to be an integer value, and if I set that right, so this gets clicked, it sets our tower to build to tower.basic. I also want to set another tower before basic to none. And we can set our tower to build to none, tower.none. But we actually have to declare an enumeration before this. Okay, so now we have our grid size that we set, our instance layer, our tower to build to none. And let's see, let's always snap our, no, let's not snap our cursor. So now we have our tower to build and our controller handles this. So let's go to the step events and say, if tower, let's use a switch statement, switch tower to build. And we'll use 3 or 4 cases. Case, none. Oh, yeah, Kenneth, it'll be up on the channel later. You could check it out. There's some really cool stuff on like the pathfinding of with the nodes and stuff. You really probably want to see that. You'll probably learn something unless you're more advanced. But it's pretty cool, and it'll definitely help you out. I I doubt I'm gonna finish this. I have an hour left. I could do quite a bit in an hour. Okay, so we have our tower.none. And what do we do in this case? We don't do anything. Let's just break out of the loop for now, or out of this statement. And in the case of tower.basic, we need to do something. We'll set our tower image to like draw, like showing like a preview of what you're placing to something. So tower draw image equals s tower top one. This isn't the best way to do this, guys, but I don't have time to super organize this stuff. So tower draw image, and we're gonna draw this. Let's set our tower draw image to nothing for now, null. So we'll do tower draw image equals -1. I use -1. That's pretty standard for negative stuff. You can use none as well, I believe. No one you can use, I think, is kind of null. Can you use null in GameMaker? No, you can't. So yeah, I'm just gonna use -1 because that's what I do. And this challenge, this is something I wanted to start. I just recently, in the last couple months, since I started being available to actually like make these videos and stuff, it wasn't really possible before, and I've always wanted to. So that's why I started making these YouTube videos, and so live streams seem kind of cool to like interact with you guys and kind of challenge myself into making something, because it kind of forces me to do it. Because usually when you're by yourself, it's hard to get motivated to do little stuff like this. But even little stuff like this will help you learn. So I figured like doing it and kind of being required, like I'm laying 2 hours of time to do this, and I can't just be like, okay, just kidding, guys, I'll see you guys later. So it forces me to do it, and it's more fun to do it and kind of teach along the way as well. So so we have tower basic. So I have my tower draw image, and I want to draw my image somewhere. So I'm gonna go to my draw events and say if yeah, I'm gonna go to draw, and I'm just gonna say if tower to build does not equal tower dot none, then we will draw an image. Draw image, or draw sprite. I'm about to read your comment in a second. Don't worry. And I'm gonna do tower to draw to be our tower to draw. And I'm gonna close this out to give you guys a better view of what I'm doing. Maybe decrease the size of this resource tree over here. Okay. And then sub image, just -1, because I don't have multiple sub images. Oh, this is kind of weird because I have the base separate from the tower top. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll have 2 of these, and then subimage -1, and the X will be gonna have to be like some grid X. So it's gonna be I'm gonna say dx is gonna be like my draw X, and I'm gonna say mouse X divided by grid size. I believe that kind of rounds it down. I'm not positive. Dx equals mouse X divided by grid size. And I think we round this. And this kind of snaps it to a grid, I believe, if I'm correct here. Round. Oh, this is mouse Y. And this is dy. And so I'm going to place it at dx and dy. And then that's going to draw my turret top, but I want to draw my base as well. So, and if you remember, my turret top's origin's different than my base, so I'm actually going to have to change this up a bit. So this is going to be, I'm just always going to draw a tower base, because that's the only thing that all of our towers are going to have the same base. So I'm going to draw my tower.base, and for my turret, we have to find out its origin. It's 35 by 56. We're going to add that to the coordinates we want to draw it at, okay? Shoot, I have so many windows open. I really don't like GameMaker's layout like this very much, and I forgot the thing offset. 3556 tower base, 3556, 3556. So we're gonna draw our tower plus 35.56, and now I believe it should work. Oh, my back's kind of hurting. back's kind of hurting. I need one of those nice chairs I see all the streamers get. Okay, so, oh, tower to draw not set before reading. Tower to draw, tower, oh shoot. I'll just say to draw. I'll change everything to draw. Tower. About to read your comments, don't worry guys. I'm getting there. I just want to see if this works real quick. Let's see, we have our tower to draw. So if I click this, ooh, that's not what I wanted. Did that wrong. And why is it drawing the icon as well? Tower to draw, S tower top. Oh, I told it to draw the icon, that's why. It needs to be tower top. S tower. Okay. I think, hey Gloomy, I wanted to say thanks for doing what you do. I'm a complete noob at GML and I'm learning so much. Never stop uploading. Hey, I'm trying to make some more beginner-friendly stuff, but at the same time, I don't want to just throw some syntax out there, be like, you do this. So I'm trying to teach computer science concepts. A big issue that I had when I first started GameMaker was I only looked up GameMaker tutorials. I said, how to use an array GameMaker. That's what I looked up. I don't even think we had YouTube around when I first started, really, or it just came out. But that would be what I would do, is say, how do I'm streaming at 1080. That's why it's so slow. I think my upload speed's a little bit slow. But anyway, I would let's say GameMaker tutorial, how to use arrays. And yeah, that teaches you the syntax, but go to YouTube and search how arrays work. And see how they work, because across all languages, the syntax is different, but understanding how it works in memory and how it works, the computer science concepts behind it, will give you more knowledge and allow you to use them better than just looking up a general GameMaker tutorial. Because a GameMaker tutorial is going to tell you, you do an array like this, array 5 equals 10. That's going to give you, like, it's going to tell you that's how you use arrays. And there's so much more behind it than that. Like, all of the data structures basically are based on arrays. Like a DS list, well, not necessarily based on arrays, but you see these different data structures, and they are arrays behind the surface. They're just data structures that have functions built in to like manipulate that array. So like a list sorting, it might be an array, but that list sort is code, basically an algorithm that sorts the list. So it all is arrays in the background. So understanding the concepts behind it will benefit you more than just looking up a general GameMaker tutorial. Yeah, and I'm glad y'all are enjoying it. I guess I need to keep going. But I really appreciate it, and I hope it helps. And I'm trying to talk through it. I'm not super good at talking and coding. I see some guys, and they're just flying away with their code, and they're talking at the same time. And yeah, it doesn't work for me, I guess. So I have my tower basic. This is where I'm going to draw. Where it's drawing at on the screen is not correct, though. Something is wrong. So I click it, and yeah, see, it's way off. The origin's also off. So I think this needs to be multiplied by something. Round grid size times, is it times grid size? I'm gonna say times grid size. I don't feel like that's correct at all. I don't know why I can't do this math right now. I feel like that might be correct though. Okay, yeah, that's correct. So it's slightly, should I use floor instead of round? Floor rounds down, remember. Round will round, if you're at 0.5, it rounds up, just like you learn in school. If you're at 0.4, it'll round down, or 0.49, it'll round down. So floor will always round it down. And yeah, this looks a bit better. So now you can see it's going to snap, but I want to highlight it red as if I'm not in contact with yeah, one of these positions. So how am I going to do this? Because I'm not actually creating an object on the screen, so I need to check, basically, I guess, my mouse position, my grid-sized mouse position. I don't think this should be too hard. But I also need to fix the origin of how that is shown. So 35 obviously didn't work. I have my tower base, and basically I need to get the center of this tower base. So what I'm going to do is just say middle center, 32 by 32. I should have known that. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, that gave me the center of this, and I'm going to try drawing the tower turret at that center. Okay. So we're going to use 32 by 32 instead of 33 by 56 for our kind of offset for the base. And yeah, that looks better. And actually the turret's a little large for what I wanted, but you're never actually going to be able to see the base, but I can fix this later if I wanted. And I want to create a background actually too. But after I get this to work, basically I will... So I want to highlight it red if that position is not correct. So what I'm going to do, I have my position for the mouse already. This is good. So I already got that DX DY position. That's where I'm drawing the sprite. Now what I want to do is say if I'm not in collision with the tower template there. So if there's not a place meeting at DX and DY against our O tower template, which is like our floor piece, basically where we have to place towers. O tower templates. So if there's not a place meeting with that object, then we're going to set our blend mode. Oh man, does that actually work? I think I have to use draw sprite extended. So I'm going to say blend equals C red. It's gonna be like, no, you can't. And else blend, I'm gonna go ahead and use code brackets just in case I have to add more code into this. C white. So that's gonna basically color it normally. So I'm gonna have to use draw sprite extended. And I wish they had something else here so I didn't have to enter all this stuff in. So we have our XY. Let's just say 1 for our scales, rotation 0, color is going to be blend, alpha is going to be, we'll just keep it at 1 for now. Or let's keep it at 0.8 to really give it that look. And should we color it green when you're in the correct spot? I'm not positive. I'll give it another image extended and use X scale 1, rotation 0, C, or no, this is blend for our color, and then our alpha 0.9 once more. Okay, and that should work. Let's set our default blend to in our create event. So we're just setting blend to C white. And hopefully this works. I feel like I'm gonna have an issue. Maybe not though. We will see. If I click it, it's red. Dang. So it's not giving me what I want. Draw sprite extended. Yeah, draw sprite extended gives you more arguments. So when you just use draw sprite, this line will give me an error now because I can't enter enough arguments. It's just basically a short way of doing it. But if you want to use different colors and set your transparency, like this 0.9 is the transparency. It's a number between 0 and 1, with 0 being invisible, 1 being completely opaque. And like this blend is supposed to be the color I want, but if not place meeting at DX DY, why is this not working? Maybe I have to use instance position. These functions all do different stuff. There's instance position, instance place, and they all return different things. Yeah, basically, I don't know. We're going to see if this works. Okay, so this works. You see, I can only place these. It's red. I think I'm going to highlight it green to be like, hey, you can draw here instead of white. So I'm going to use green to tell the player, hey, it's okay to do this. Using shaders is probably better than using this, but I don't have shaders set. See, like, sea green kind of is a little bit dark, but it's going to work for now. In reality, you would want to probably use shaders or something to keep the brightness. Okay, yeah, so now we have our grid that we can place our towers on. And yeah, that works awesome. Now we need to be able to click and place that tower, okay? So we have our, where's that? Tower to build is our thing. So we're going to go ahead. All right, guys. I'm back. All right. Are you guys here? Sorry, it's like okay, guys, so I'm actually going, if y'all are here, my freaking how my uploads is ridiculous high. My actual uploading is like 1080p, which would y'all be okay with? Yeah, I'll give it a second, but yeah, it's uploading at like 3 megs a second right now, which is freaking crazy. It's because I set it for recording, I think, or something. So if it closes out again, I'm going to decrease it to 720p instead of 1080. But yeah, I opened my window, so if y'all hear like rain and stuff, sorry, I like the sound of it when I'm programming, so. All right, so, okay. I'm going into my step event, and I have, oh yeah, what was I doing? My left pressed, I need to check if I went to place my object. So I'm going to say my left click, mouse, left pressed. Then I am going to check if I'm in the correct position. So draw instance position. Do I want to check this again? I'm already checking it. Whatever, I'm not worried about performance. I'm going to say if, I don't want to rewrite this again though. So I'm going to put this in my code and then this in my code. So I'm going to cut this out. So I'm going to do step, and I'm going to cut all this stuff. Oh, what happened? In my step event, so I'm also going to set can place equals true. This means I can place, wait, this is false. This is going to say, can I place an object? Let me know if that sounds annoying you. That's actually super windy. I live in Oklahoma in the US. We have tornadoes and stuff, so you probably need to listen if people are screaming or something. Okay, so can place, let's see. I need to initialize it. I'm kind of all over the place right now. Can place equals false. And left pressed. So in my left pressed, I'm going to say ask if can place equals true. I'm in my left pressed. If can place, then I'm going to execute this code. Or else I'm going to not execute anything probably, but oh, what happened? Okay, so I'm going to say, where am I at? Totally put this in the wrong spot. This is in my wrong. If, now I'm in my controller left pressed. If can place, then I'm going to execute some code. And I need to check if, basically, I'll just use another switch statement. Switch tower to build. And I'm going to use another case. Say my case is tower dot none. It's just going to break. It's going to do nothing. So I'm going to say break case tower dot basic. It should be easy for me to add towers after this, so I should be fine on time. I should be able to add multiple towers. And the tower dot basic, so it's going to place the tower. So let's do instance create, and we're going to create an instance at dx dy. Why can't I see my arguments down here? I don't like that. Why is it not showing me my arguments? Oh, well. Instance create, I need to use layer. Maybe that's why this isn't a function. Layer, dx dy, put it on instances layer. And then let's create O tower base. Okay. and tower base thing. I'm gonna have to save this in a variable, temporary variable called I, and I need to set width. Actually, I could just use width. So I'll say when you use width, the width keyword, it's actually okay. So I'll explain it after I write it. So, hey, what's up, Kevin? How's it going, man? Glad you could make it. I only got about 45 minutes left, so hope you enjoy what you can see. So what width does is it creates this instance of an object which has a number value. Every instance you create has its unique number value called its ID. And what it does is basically using width goes into that instance and does whatever code you write in here. So whatever I write in here is like I wrote the code inside of this object that was created. So what I'm going to do is do instance create layer x, y. I'm going to say plus 32 to create it in the center of this object because this object is 64 by 64. So I'm going to do 32 to create it in the middle. Instance create layer, what layer are we creating it on? Or we're creating on our instance layer. And we're creating tower turret 1 because that is our first kind of turret. Tower base. And that's the one we're creating. And then we break out. That's in the case of tower basic. And after this, we need to decrease our money, which we haven't implemented yet. Decrease money. I think that's all we'd have to do. And set can place to false. And in this case, we need to set can place to false as well. Can place equals false. And we're going to say down here, tower to build equals none. Tower.none. I think my logic might be off here. Not positive what's going to happen. I'm kind of lost a bit. Like I said, this isn't super organized because I'm rushing. So if I click this and now I click, did not work. So that's because I did left press. I need to do global left pressed inside of my controller. So anywhere I click. So can I change event still in GameMaker? Yeah, good. So I'm going to say mouse, global left pressed. And hopefully it'll work now. Hopefully it resets. Let's see, basic tower. Yeah, it created it, but at the wrong depth. Yeah, let's go ahead and make a new layer. I'll call it towers. And I'll put that above instances. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, and that's going to have to be the layer I created on. So come on, give me full screen. We're going to create it on towers. Create it on towers. And I don't think I want it to disable a building, because what if you want to select multiple slots, right? So, or multiple... Dang! Placing it below. This is the only thing I don't like about this new layer system. I'll say depth. I'll just use the depth thing for this. Equals -1. Depth -1. Just going to create it above it. And we should see it made now. Yeah, and I think I want to be able to click multiple ones for now. But if global right button's pressed, I want to disable placing. So I'm going to say can place equals false. Can we place multiple right now? I feel like something is off still. So if I do this and I were to... Okay, it's letting me. Okay, that's letting me. Now what I want to do is say if not instance position, or I'm going to check for another instance. Dang, this is actually going to give me an error. If no tower exists, this would give me an error. Shoot. Or if... Let's see what happens if we do instance. Yeah, it's gonna give me an unidentified thing. Not instance position. Dx, dy, because we don't want an object to be able to be placed on top of another object, right? What's the difference between left click that you needed and global left? Left click means that you're actually clicking on the object. So I'd have to actually be clicking on the controller for that action to be registered. Global left click means I can click anywhere and that event's going to be registered. So that's why the local left click wasn't working, is because I actually have to click on the O controller, which exists somewhere random and I can't even see it. So instance position, shoot. If I use tower here, it's not going to work. How do I get around that? I guess what I say is... I'm kind of lost here. So if I say I need to have a tower parent. That's what I need. I really don't like the way this is going though. So I need to have a tower parent. I'm gonna do create O tower parent, and our turret is going to inherit from that parent. O tower parent. Yeah, that's fine. So, I guess I can have a tower parent created somewhere random at the beginning of the game. Kind of a hacky way of doing it, but I mean, what I'm going to do. So -100 and -100, I'm going to create this tower parent so that I don't get an error when I check for a collision against it before any towers are made. So we're going to create on the tower. Actually, I'm just going to create in the instances layer as well. And it's going to be O tower parent. So now it won't give me an error when I check for a collision. So let's go back to the controller. Draw, step, instant. Now I check for a collision with an O tower parents at a position, okay? And am I still getting an error? Why? Got this up. I got this up. Okay, so now it should turn it red when, wow, what? Oh, and not, wait, yeah, and not instance position, O tower parent. Oh, or I need to use and. Not instance position, or, oh, come on, draw over it. Jeez. Sometimes these layers annoy me. But I can still set its depth, I think. Yeah, let's just set its depth. Depth equals -100. Hopefully that works. The new layer system sometimes can be annoying. Yeah, there we go. So now it's always going to draw this. Did it crash again? The up thing. Okay, so now I can place these towers, and it doesn't let me place them on top of each other. Wait, it is letting me place it on top of... But why? Isn't it highlighting it? Not highlighting it red. And not instance position. XDY O tower parents. Should work. So now it should be red when I hover over it, not green. And not instance place tower parent. O tower parent. Go back to our O tower parent. And it has a child called the tower turret. Let's make the tower the base of the tower inherit the parent also, because its collision mask is larger, right? So let's see, maybe that'll work. O tower parent is its parent. Let's see if this changes anything. Nope. Huh. All right, I'm kind of getting lost here, guys. So if you're lost, don't worry, I am too. Let's do step events. Let's do like +10, +10 to make sure we're actually on the object, but it should be instance place returns true or false, right? Let's see. Real. Oh no, instance position I think returns true or false, which is what we want. Close that out. I have so many of these open. These tabs. Color. So I want instance position, which returns true or false. No. What? What returns true or false? Instance place, maybe? Returns true or false? That's probably what I'd want. If not, instance place. Yeah, I believe that's true or false. So do we do this? Oh, why? Why is it still placing it? Yeah, Gone Gamer, don't worry. It's going to show. Oh, I have 30 minutes. I really need to get this together. Why is it not? Maybe I'll have to leave that bug in. I'm spending too much time. Why? But it'll be uploaded on the. There'll be a VOD on the channel, so you can go back and watch it. I did some pretty interesting stuff with the nodes that you could probably learn something from if you go back and watch it. I don't know why this is not working. Because I should be instance place dx dy. There's not an instance place tower parent. And not instance place tower parent. And this would be or. Maybe I have the logic wrong. So we put that down. Shoot, I don't even know, guys. This is gonna be a bug for now. Maybe I delete the template. That would work. Maybe I delete that tower template when the instance is placed. So let's say when our tower base is created, it says if place meeting x, y, o tower templates, then we destroy the object. Instance destroy. Actually, let's do even simpler than this. Let's delete this event and go into our. Oh man, that's too much processing. I can't do it. I'd have to run a step event and shoot. I'm gonna run a step event. Who cares? I'm gonna go into the tower template and actually let's just say collision event. I don't know if this actually runs every step or not. Let's just say it collides with the tower base. We destroy ourselves. Instance destroy. Okay, and let's hit play. And if I don't finish this tonight, I might continue it like another day. So that destroys our original template, which that's nice. Now we can't place the object here. So that's kind of cool. All right, so that works. Now let's make, shoot. Let's make the turrets follow the, I gotta actually make some shooting and stuff go on, okay? So I have 30 minutes. Let's make the turrets actually look towards our nearest enemy. We'll say if instance exists, O enemy, I'll say parent. I'm gonna create a parent enemy. If I made more parents, then we're gonna say image angle equals instance nearest. Really cool function that GameMaker gives us to our X and Y value. O enemy parent. Okay, so it's just going to turn us towards our nearest enemy parent. And I need to close all these windows out. It stresses me out. And I'm going to go to Windows, close all. Okay. And now I need to make an O enemy parent. O enemy parent, and I will make O enemy derive from parent. Enemy parent, and now we should get our thing looking the right direction. Whoa, totally not. Why is it not doing it? Step event. Did I do that in a step? If instance exists, O enemy parent. Which oh, that's wrong. Dot. Wait, I need to get the direction. Direction to direction. Point. The point direction. Okay, I guess so. Point direction. So I equals. I'm gonna use inst equals instance nearest parent and say point direction from our x and our y to our inst.x and our inst.y. So this should give us our image angle. There we go. So now our tower's following the nearest enemy. And if we do multiple enemies in our room, which I have to make an enemy spawner still, dang, this is super hard to do this stuff. But it's cool. So let's say, I'm just gonna throw some objects down. I'm about to implement shooting, health, and get into that. Okay, so, oh shoot, come on, hurry up and place these. So this, yeah, it'll switch to our nearest. Doesn't rotate smoothly, it's all right, don't worry about it. All right, now. Okay, so now our turrets look at our enemy, and actually, I'm gonna change the background color because it's bugging me, it looks really lame. I'm just gonna change it. Why can't you do gradient backgrounds by default in GameMaker? That'd be cool. Oh, that's really bright. Awesome, but it looks cooler. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's raining. I love programming in the rain. I don't know if any of you share that, or you might live somewhere where it doesn't rain, and in that case, I'm sad for you and you should move. But programming in the rain is so relaxing. Okay, so I have my tower top. Need to make it shoot something, so I'm gonna make a bullet. Gonna do create. Close this down. Call it S bullet. And let's do a I'm just gonna do a round bullet for this one, guys. I know it's lame. Do our size here. I start with like a dark, this weird color. And start out with like a rectangle. Big. Start out with like a rectangle. Then round it off. Something like this. And go to like here. And go to like darker yellow. And I'm gonna change my alpha on that yellow so I can make a brighter color, and then I'm gonna select this, move it to the top corner, and go to image, auto crop, auto trim, and now we have our bullet, and we need to set our middle center. It's gonna be as close as it can to the center. Yeah, I live in Oklahoma. It rains quite a bit, but not like it does in Washington. I would love to live like Seattle. I want to get a programming job out there one day, and I get a little bit more experience. And yeah, that'd be awesome. That's a dream. My girlfriend actually wants to go to Seattle too. She loves the rain as well. And yeah, I lived in California for a while, and it never rained. And that's where I was stationed when I was in the military, and it never ever rained, and it made me super sad. It was just always sunny, and I hated it. Okay, so let's start shooting. First, let's give our tower turret 1. Let's give it a create event, and we're gonna initialize some parameters. Like we're gonna give it like a fire rate. Let's give it 20. Let's give it 60 every 2 seconds. Let's say 120. This one's gonna be super slow. Fire rate 120. And now we'll just start counting down that 120. Current rate equals 0. Doing this right? No, fire rate 120. Current rate equals fire rate. I'm gonna use cur rate. Keep with my standard, and then I'm gonna do I lost. I'm gonna do if current rate is greater than 0, then I'm gonna go ahead and decrement it here. This is actually I'm gonna decrement it here. This actually decreases this value by 1 and then does this check, and so I don't have to actually put the code down here to decrement it. So we're decrementing our current fire rate, and if it does equal to 0, we're gonna fire. So we're gonna do instance create layer x y. Dang, we need to get our muzzle, the tip of our muzzle. So we're gonna go here. Wait, not that sprite. We're gonna go here, and we're gonna get this position 114 and 55. So really it's just our x value. How are we gonna do this? Yeah, we need to get so our original x value is 35, and we want it to spawn here. So we have 35 and 56. I need to bring up Notepad. I have 35 and 56 for our original origin, and I want the bullet to spawn about here, which is 113, and it can be along the same x value actually. So 56, 113. So I need to do 113 minus 35, which is I could do it in my head, but 113 minus 35 equals 78. So 78 is the length. 78. Oh, shoot. 78. I don't think this is going to work how I want it to. I might just have to spawn it at the origin for now. Yeah, I'll do Q&A. That's fine. I mean, I'll answer your questions now if you want to ask some questions, but yeah, I don't mind. Instance create layer. We're just going to create it here. I'm going to create depth. You know what? I know this isn't always great. We're going to create it here. I'm going to do depth +1 to make sure it's created below our object. And then bullets. What's going to create, which we haven't made yet. I got to make it. Bullets. And let's set the direction for our bullet. So I'm going to store an inst once again equals bullet. I'm going to use inst dot direction equals this direction, which is going to be our image angle, and then inst dot speed equals 100, or not 100. Let's do 225, or no, 212. And if current rate, and then we reset our current rate equals fire rate, and current rate equals fire rate. I think that's it. That's all we need. Current rate's reset, creates our object later. I think I probably forgot a couple things, but origin and the muzzle. Direction. I'll read your thing. I think you're thinking correctly. Why? Oh, set the origin of it. That's why. Here. About to read your. You're probably onto something. Like I'm rushed and I'm not doing well under pressure. Oh, that was weird. Make some bullets. Make some bullets. What are you doing? Oh no. Make bullets. But why? Oh, I didn't make a sprite for the bullet. Okay. Couldn't you find the difference between the origin and the muzzle? That's what I was trying to do, but for some reason I felt like I wasn't going at it right. And then based on the direction that the turret is aiming, then add that based on the direction the turret is aiming, thus finding the X, Y, where to spawn. That's what I was kind of doing. And then for some reason, oh, wow. For some reason, For some reason, I was just, I was thinking that it wasn't going to work correctly. And I'm not positive why. Oh. I had this backwards. I'm not positive why I didn't think it was going to work correctly. So, I think you're right though, yeah. That's what I was thinking of doing at first, but speed needs to be a little bit faster, I think. It's a little bit slow. I could calculate where to shoot it, but that might be for another video. I could do it. It might take me a minute. So I think I'm just going to make the bullet faster and have it actually be able to miss, have a chance to miss, which might be kind of interesting in a game. I could actually calculate the velocity of the enemy, calculate, yeah, basically the velocity of the enemy, the direction and speed that it's going, and then calculate the distance from the turret to the enemy and calculate how far ahead to shoot. That won't take into account the turning, but it would work. Or I could make the bullet follow the thing, but I think it would be kind of interesting, like this. So, so we're moving by 16. The bullet. Let's see. Yeah, it's shooting behind it. I might have to make the bullet slightly follow. I'll just do step. I'll do like direction. Oh shoot, I don't know what to do here. I might have to make it so that enemy just takes damage instantly. Get that to 22. I could do that velocity calculation, but I don't have much time, guys. So, I mean, I might continue this in like another stream and kind of finish it if y'all are interested in seeing like how this could be done. Okay, so now I have my building platforms. I have my basic shooting. Let's implement. Let me draw out the map and kind of implement a map, and then actually get the. Let's say the bullet has a collision with. Has a collision with the enemy parent. Then we just destroy it. Instance destroy. Let's see, and then let's say we have. That's all we need for that. Or we go out of the boundary, other outside of room. We could say instance destroy. Yeah, I'm saying, if I do another stream, would you want to see me continue this or see me do something else? Because I mean, I'll do something else, or I'd continue this. I could actually clean this up a bit before stream and continue it, but I think y'all are getting the gist of it. The big thing is the nodes, being able to make the paths, and then kind of having this. I'm streaming, Mom. Strong. Okay. I'll check on you in a minute. So yeah, my mom just came in. Yes, I live with my mom, and I'm old. Okay. Don't worry about it. I was actually living with my girlfriend for a while, and I wasn't liking it because I couldn't do things like this. I'm kidding. I liked it just fine. It was awesome. I'll probably move back in with her, but you'll probably won't see me stream anymore after I do. So we'll see. Let's see. Let's do Zelda style RPG. I could do that. I do want to do some RPG stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. What do I need to do? Where was I, guys? I need to make my enemy die. Let's see. Oh no. Thing's gone. Zelda style RPG. Would you are you saying like a series, like I'm doing that platform series, like or are you saying like a fast-paced thing like this where I go through and try to do as much as I can? So our enemy gets hit by bullet. Let's say our enemy gets hit by bullet. Collision. So O bullets. Let's say health minus equal 10. Actually, I think I would have to delete this. Delete events. Let's do my health equals 100 just for a base. So let's say our bullet gets destroyed. Instance destroy. Do with other. Can I do this? I wonder. With other health, my health minus equal other dot damage if my health is less than or equal to 0. Yeah, Steve, can you pause here? Can you pause on the stream? I don't know. But yeah, go ahead and pause. I don't care. Also, this is going to be uploaded to my YouTube, so you could go through it and watch it again. It's not very clean. I'll probably upload the file also, so you can actually go through and check out the code. I try to explain it. I haven't been explaining well lately. Instance destroy. So if my health is less than or equal to 0, and then we need to set our damage value for this bullet to damage equals, let's say 25. So I don't know if this will work. If the other thing, other.damage, let's see though. No, yeah, I'm still working on the platformer. I kind of got to a place where I'm a little bit stuck at. Let's see. I don't know if these are working. My health. Why is that not set before reading it? Let's just say minus equal 25 for now. My health is less than or equal to instance destroy. Yeah, I could do an RTS thing. I need to mess around a little bit. I actually made an RTS a long time ago in GameMaker, and I would like to do it again now that I actually know how to program. Why is this giving me an error? Not set before reading it. Do I have create? What did I put my health in? Oh, no, enemy. Create my health equals 100. Okay. Oh, it's destroying itself. I know why. With other. Oh, this is on the outside of room. That's silly. Oh. Instead, it should be with collision with the enemy parent. Yeah, I'll keep going on that series for sure. I'm going to we're going to be implementing like teammate health and stuff like that in the next video. Or not teammate health, the slime's health, and then I'm going to be doing like a flashing thing when we hit them with a bullet. Why are they still shooting? What are they shooting at? Oh, our fire rate just keeps going. So what I'm going to do is implement one more feature to the tower turret. So we say if current blah blah blah, say and instance exists. It's going to be the instance exists O enemy parents. Then we'll do this code. Okay. Our current rate's going to be decreased forever though. That's the only bad thing. But let's see. Cool. Okay, so that works. Now what I'm going to do We have our like health for our ships and our turrets, and I'm gonna draw a level real quick. 1900 by, wait, what am I on? 1600 by 900. So let's go to sprites. I'm gonna add a group background. I'm gonna say create s background. I'm gonna just create a quick image. Let's resize all frames to 1600 by 900. Don't keep aspect ratio. 900, come on. 900, apply. Okay. And I'm gonna do my brush size to 4. And I'm gonna draw like a small grid, okay? It doesn't have to be a smooth grid. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually just gonna draw out this thing. I'm gonna color it with like a desaturated green first. Make it not too bright on your eyes. Maybe something like that. Looks good enough. And then we gotta, this is gonna be kind of hard. It's not snap to a grid, I guess. Gonna throw off the look a bit, but let's do 64 by 64 so I can see the actual grid, so I can leave room for certain blocks. So what I'm gonna do here, okay, this should be fine for visualizing it. Okay, so I'm gonna come up here, grab my pencil tool, have my brush size to 4. I'm gonna carve out like a dirt road area type thing, a little bit dark, make it a little bit lighter, and let's kind of have this pathway kind of weave in and out like this. And then kind of come back around and then up maybe. And then like down like this. Okay, and then I'll kind of have this, but I want to be able to keep. Oh crap. Yeah, this is not working out well, guys. Don't worry. So what I'm going to do is fill that pathway. And then I'm going to do this little thing I do. With the green, I'm going to make it a little bit lighter and increase saturation slightly. Then I'm going to draw what I do. Lightness? Wow, this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes this doesn't make sense to me. Okay. All right, so I'm going to like do this thing. Or it's going to give me like, it might mess up the look of, yeah, I'm still going to do it though. Let's more towards the outside, something like this. And then why'd that happen? Confused. Okay, and then I'm gonna do some over here. And I'm not gonna do any over here, but I will do some like on the outskirt right here. And then I'm gonna give it maybe like right here too. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing for the dirt, just slightly. Give it some shadow around the outside. Oh shoot. Worst pixel art ever. And I'm gonna give it a little bit more shadow around this outside. Hopefully this is giving it a little bit of depth. Right. So now we have our path, and that should be our background. Cool. So let's add that in the game. Hey, Imperfect Luck, how you doing? You kind of missed most of it if you're just joining, but don't worry, it'll be a VOD online, and you can view it. You can feel free to ask me any questions though. And I'm gonna destroy all of our nodes for now because I'm gonna redo the level, destroy all of our enemies. Where's the rest of our enemies? Where'd I put them? Oh, I put them on our GUI layer. That's random. And then we're going to go to our background and set it as our background. And now we see our kind of object. We have our GUI. And now let's go to our towers. And let's, no. Yeah, our towers. And why isn't it letting me pick these up? Where'd I place those tower templates? So delete all these. go to our towers, and we're going to set our grid size to 64 by 64 by 64. And now we're going to place our tower templates. And I could just place our templates like this. Okay. And I could place these kind of wherever I wanted. And let's give like a few here. And you kind of see what I did with the levels of the... I want to be able to place a few here. I might make a space between them because the towers kind of overlapped a little much for me. I don't want to put them down by my GUI. It kind of sucks. I should have left room for the GUI, but it's okay. And let's put some like here. So these represent the places that we can build towers, okay? And I really want a spawner. Can I place objects? Yeah, we can place a spawner out here. So I'm going to make an enemy spawner real quick. Do enemy spawner. And we don't need to give it anything. I just say, timer, alarm. It's alarm, right? Alarm 0 equals... Dude, what do we do? How am I going to spawn these enemy waves? I have an idea. So we'll do alarm 0 be 1, say 220. And then I'm gonna make several alarms. These are gonna represent the waves, okay? And we'll do alarm 1, alarm 2, alarm 3, alarm 4. Yeah, we'll do these. So we'll set our second one to 500. We'll set our third one to 1,000. Then we'll set our fourth one to 12. Let's do 1,500, and then let's do 2,200. Okay. And I don't know how long this is going to be. I should do this in seconds, but I didn't. So now let's go to our alarm events, and let's do wave amount equals wave amount equals. We'll set our wave amount to 100. Wave amount. Now let's do, how many do we want to spawn at first? We'll spawn 4 at first. And we'll do 4 I equals 0. I is less than wave amount I plus plus, and then we're going to do instance create yeah, I mean, seriously, what do you guys want to see in, if I do this again? Would you want to see a continuation of this? Do you want to see a new thing? What kind of thing? Like if I did one next week, what would you want to see me make? Maybe an old school remake. I know GM Wolf does old school remakes, which is kind of cool. He's been doing like Tetris and Bomberman, stuff like that. He does like an hour or two. Kind of similar, but what would you guys want to see? So let's do X, Y. Sorry, if y'all said it earlier, just say it again. I'm gonna do instance create layer. Let's just create it to our instances layer. Instances. Enemy. Okay. Sky. Okay, and where do we want to create it? Y minus. Let's do 100 times I. That should give us the illusion that they are created at different times. That should work. 80. Let's do 100. 100 should work fine. We did that. Let's go back to our workspace. Let's enter another alarm. So we go to our alarm 1. This is our second wave. And let's give us 8 guys. Same thing. Now we go to alarm 2. And let's give us 10 guys. Let's give us 15 actually. Go to alarm. Alarm 3. Give us 25 final enemies. And we, oh wait, alarm 4. Alarm 5. And let's give us 30 32 enemies. Okay. Let's see what this does. Let's hit. I need to put the wait enemy spawner in our room, in our instances. I'm gonna put our enemy spawner up here. And let's hit play. Oh, I didn't put nodes. It's gonna give me an error. Stop. Okay, I stopped it before it gave me an error. So let's go to our nodes. And this is the cool thing about this system, guys. We can build the path for our guys by putting nodes down. And it doesn't matter how many we put. We can put as many as we'd like. So let's just do our nodes like this. And let's make it go right here. And kind of go through this little area. And finally, we exit. Boatcast RPG. All right, so let's see what happens here. All right, here we go. So now our guys are coming through. And we're shooting at them. I'm gonna put some down. I'll try to think of some kind of RTS thing that I could do in 2 hours. Something. At least get some units moving around and shooting each other. It might be kind of cool. I could probably do that in a couple hours. You could select the units and make them run towards each other. I could probably do that. Wow, that's a lot of enemies. All right. And obviously these don't turn smoothly. There's ways to make it turn smoothly, which I didn't implement in this one. And yeah, so that's the basic of our RT, or our top down, what do you call this? What's it called? A tower defense game. What else do I need to do though? Let's see. What else could I do here? Let me make us have like a health and some money. I'll do money real quick. So let's do, I'll create how much money? Global.money equals 50. And when we create one of those guys, it decreases our money by hand place, tower basic, create depth, tower to build. Yeah, this will decrease our global.money minus equal 25. So now we decreased our money by 25, and we have to do, sounded weird, maybe fireworks? Okay. If can place, where do I put it? Let's just put it here. Decrease our money here. And I will do an if global.money is less than or equal to 25, then we can do all this code. We can create our stuff and all that, or else we're just gonna not do anything, okay? And now we've decreased our money, we have our money. Now we need to say when this enemy gets destroyed, global.money plus equal, well, actually, not if it's destroyed, just if, dang. How are we gonna do this? We'll go back into our bullets, and if our bullet destroys the enemy, then we increase our money by, let's say, 25. Okay, and now let's go to our controller and draw our money somewhere. So let's go to our draw events, and let's say draw text. Can I do extended and on text? Extended, and that's gonna be our, let's do room width. Oh, I already know my room width. It's 1000, so I'm not going to write it. So I'm going to do, or it's 1600. So I'm going to do like 1400 and then 900. So I'm going to do like 800. And then what are we going to write? What's extended do? The maximum width and pixels of the string before a line break. Do I not have any other functions? How do I draw like a stretched text? I'm just gonna do draw text and make a font. Who cares? String. Let's see. String global.money. So we could kind of see our money. And then we're gonna do money plus string global money, and let's make a font real quick. I'm going to create a new fonts. Let's do a font. I'm just going to name it font 1. And Arial's fine. Do I have any cool fonts? What's a cool font? I'll use Impact. Impact is a really good font for everything. Impact